Hey, folks, welcome to episode 3 of Random Talks, where we look at how AI is transforming various spheres in the world of business and industry. For today's episode, we're really lucky to have Mr. Ziad Taoud, who is the founder of Digitize, which is doing some really exciting work in the United Arab Emirates in the world of how AI can transform the retail sector. So, without further ado, Ziad, welcome to the show. Really happy that you could make it. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about your journey?
First of all, thanks for having me, Anand. Looking forward to our conversation around AI and how AI can be applied and be beneficial for the retail industry. So a quick intro from myself. Myself is Ziad, CEO of Digitiz, and I have been more than 2 decades in technology and digital transformation. Extremely passionate about data and how data can also be at the benefits of all businesses. So just to tell you a bit about the story of Digitize, and so looking at the stage where I was and the opportunity I could take at in my life, and also the experience I had in prestigious company with all the remarkable opportunities that were in the market, especially in the Middle East when it comes to technology and digital transformation. I felt that this was a great chance to build a digital champions and be part of the digital ecosystem for the region. In fact, I decided to launch and establish new, I would say, startup, okay, in the digital field called Digitize and. So our mission is to empower organizations and businesses to achieve more with technology and digital transformation. Our go-to-market strategy is around, I would say, 5 pillars around what we call the speed framework. Okay, so the speed market is about first the services, first services strategy and advisory. So it's purely how we can help and advise our clients in terms of transformation and how they can use technology for their businesses. The second one is about engineering. In a nutshell, how we can also help them accelerate in their transformation with having access to engineering resources, the staffing, etc. The, the the other one, which is P, which is purely for product software development, and the D is about data and AI. So when we put everything in the mix, we believe that all these five segments can help any company wherever they are in their journey to achieve more with technology. So that's the short story behind Digitize.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I've traveled in the region, and it was remarkable how far ahead in terms of technology the entire region seems to be. I remember at the Dubai Mall, I think I walked into a store which was completely unmanned, and I'd never seen anything like that in the world. So, tell me, I mean, particularly in the United Arab Emirates and in the rest of the world, what are some of the large trends that are impacting or affecting the retail industry, and how is AI, in that mix?
Um, so for when it comes to Dubai and the UAE as whole, it represents great land in which we can see all the fancy and the great applied technology, and you can see also the number of the big brands who are operating here. With all the competition, it's there. That it's clear that all the retailers, they are looking on how they can improve the customer experience and how they can delight their customers. So I feel very fortunate and lucky to be part of the journey and also empower many retailers in that front. Uh, to your question, I think that the most significant trend currently shaping the retail sector are deeply impacted by or with the rapid evolution of digital technology. It's clear that technology is not just an add-on; it's becoming central to how we operate in the economy and in the society at scale. Uh, to give you some number, if when you look at, for example, the GDP as a whole, like the economy at scale, 31% of the world GDP is around retail. Okay, that's a huge number. I will give you another data point which I found extremely exciting and interesting. Almost 80 terabytes of data is generated every hour by retailers. Okay, so the question as either a tech provider or as a retailer, what we are doing with this data. And we see the data, this is not, I would say, a normal or data. It's data that give us the demand signals of the markets and of the consumers and the trends, preference, and behaviors. So it's crucially important to look at this data, analyze it, and see how this can be a tool to shape the entire retail and the entire economy. So, um, as I said, I felt fortunate to be part of the region here with a lot of responsibility and accountability to be part of the ecosystem to see more about the investment of technology and specifically AI, which is becoming a necessity for many retailers.
Yeah, I mean it's a really exciting time, right, to be in that space. And I mean, is everyone adopting this? Are retailers rushing to adopt AI, or some being slow and some being fast? How is that panning out?
Well, it depends on where they are in the journey. Okay, so I can see that there are different type of retailer. The retailer that they are more into the experience and delighting the customers. And when they look at technology, they look at technology as a tool for them to give better or great moment for them and great experience. Okay, so if you ask someone, how was your experience, even it's like purely tech or with digital signage or call it whatever you want, at the end of the day, he will share his feeling. He would be able to recommend to go or not. Okay, technology is part of it. I'm technologist, but whenever I'm having discussion with CEOs or general manager of retailers, I'm always having that discussion in terms of what you are doing in terms of experience and how technology can help you to achieve your businesses. Some other retailers, they are, I would say, behind, and this is normal with any type of ecosystem. But we feel that there is kind of pressure from the peers and the competition that people will start exploring technology for many reasons. I mean, we can start with basic stuff of how I can have full visibility on my store, my retail, how I can track my sales, how I can optimize my stock, for example. And we go from that visibility to how you can delight my customer, and the journey is huge, and there are plenty of use cases out there. So yeah, so I think it's different from retailer to retailer.
Yeah, I mean, and now that we're talking about use cases and stuff like that, I mean, what kind of, there's all of this data, and there's all of this stuff that can be tracked and used in creative ways now that AI can, accelerate the and augment the way that that data is organized and interpreted and read and used. There are certain things, right, in terms of like, for instance, like, is how what are the use cases about, like, what about personalization? Is that a thing? What about, like, how are retailers using this to kind of tailor it to different customers to optimize that experience? What are some of the interesting things that you see happening in that space?
All right. So and then just to give you an example, last week I had lunch with CEO of Caribou Coffees. Is a well-known coffee shop with more than 200 stores in the region. And we were having discussion about data. I mean, and we had them, by the way, in terms of data analytics journey end to end. So what we do at Digitize, and this is something, is kind of our framework, what we call the AI framework, or the AI retail framework. So we work with any retailer in four pillars, okay? And then we can ask the question how AI or technology or data can be enablers on that pillar. The first one, it's helping to understand your customer. Okay? As a retailer, it's very crucial for you to have full understanding of your customer, what they like about your brand, what they like about the experience, what he's saying about you in the social media, how he's consuming or she's consuming the product, etc. So the understanding of the customer is crucial. The second one is purely around the omni-channel or what we call the any-commerce, okay, which means that how you can give the same experience online and offline to your customer without him feeling that there is a disconnect, and how we can connect the back of the house with the front of the house in order that you have seamless, effortless experience to your customer. The third one is more about how you can empower your employees. This is very important for retailers because what is called about the store associates, they are the one at the end of the day who are selling the product. So they have to be highly educated about the product, about the features, so they can also help to the customer to decide on what to purchase, on how to upsell, and probably need to have more empowerment in terms of data, how they can operate, how they can run promotion, how they can be the first ambassador of the brand. So and the retailer has a very specific aspect, which is it's the turnover of the employees is very high. Okay, so it's very costly for the retailers to do the training for them. So technology is key, is crucial for the retailers to make sure that the consistency in terms of experience is there, and also empowering that employee to have the right information in the right device. The fourth one is, I would say, the how we can reimagine the retail, how we can look at our business model. We have seen that many retailers, they started with stores and they moved to different app or different platforms, and this is very important when they do that. Or they can do the other way around. They are, for example, a mall operator, and they move into a more loyalty app with many other financial services that at the end of the day they are giving solution either to the retailer or to the customer. So that shift is there. And this is the framework we are using whenever we are having discussion with the retailers. We ask these questions to understand if AI will be enabled and how AI will be enabled according to these pillars.
Right. I mean, and it's interesting you say that, right? Because a lot of this data and analytics and AI has been relatively common in the digital retail world, but now it's also impacting the physical retail world. And is there anything interesting happening there in the relationship between physical and digital retail? Is digital becoming more like physical, or is physical becoming more like digital? Are there any trends that are happening there?
I think this question is very important. So thank you for highlighting this. When we look at, for example, the COVID and how COVID has pushed all the retailer to move online fast, that was good catalyst for the retailers to feel that urgency and to move forward to the online. But we've seen many shifts. I mean, we've seen that I would say to really connect the physical and the digital shopping experiences uh, seamlessly, the retailer needs to think in terms of convenience and engagement, because the way we shop varies based on what we are looking for. Okay, so at the end of the day, we are the shopper, and we are the one that the retailer should take care of and should consider our needs or our behavior. So first, for those looking for convenience, we want the shopping process to feel effortless. So think about Amazon, what they have done, moving from one click to practically zero click shopping. And it's all about making that transition from browsing to buying as smooth as possible. Whether you are online, you are using your phone, or in the store, the key is removing friction. And this is purely that, I'm not talking about like online or like digital or physical, that how you can remove friction. So we go back to the same point that we discussed initially, is about the experience. So the customer doesn't even notice they are moving from one channel to another. Okay. But for example, if you look at on the flip side, okay, you mentioned initially Dubai. I mean, I remember when the iPhone is launched and the queue in front of the Apple store. So shopping, it's sometimes about more than just buying, for example. It's about exploring, it's about being entertained, it's about connecting with the brand. Okay, so again, Apple is very good example in which people they would love to go to the store to feel the brand, being exposed to the entire I would say Apple ecosystem, ask question, being educated on the product, and then probably they can make the purchase online. I mean, but they would love to have that feeling, to touch the brand. There is one very interesting data points and facts, which is they've seen that there is a good correlation between increasing the sales in the e-commerce when the store is there in the same area. So, which tells a lot, which tells that uh, retailers now they are moving toward let's have a fancy store with about experience, about education, okay, and the decision probably is in the is made in the couch, not in the store. But I go to store to explore if it makes sense for me to buy. So that shift we have seen it. So there is no kind of one size strategy that go online or go offline. Purely, it's how you can mix. This and ultimately the strategy for retailer is understanding that shopping, as I said, is not one size fits. Sometimes we are shopping for efficiency. We go to the for grocery. We go very fast. We know exactly what we want. We know the promotions and we pick the items. Sometimes we need to have more time to be educated if I'm going to buy new laptop or new phone or new dress, etc. So we need to recognize these different mindset as retailer and integrating technology into both physical and digital space so we can create great experience for the customer that feels and natural and engaging no matter where the customer is.
Yeah, no, that's great, right? It's super interesting that the physical spaces are becoming sometimes experience zones where the purchase is actually made digitally, but the physical is playing a role in increasing the digital revenue, which is super interesting. But tell me this, Zia. I mean, it's fascinating how the AI and is AI and data and that that the coming together of those is transforming the physical retail space, right? So much it's easier to understand how it's doing this to the digital space, but in the physical space, can you give us some examples of like cool things that have happened or interesting things that you've seen, which would help us, like lay people understand the kind of potential and power that this has?
Well, there are plenty of use cases. I mean, the list is big. I would say with the major one, which we have seen that were there from day one, but they start being evolving by using the generative AI. I will start with personalization. Okay, so I will start with if you go, for example, to any coffee shop, you used to have I don't know your iced latte with unsweetened almond milk. We'd love that the barista know about that preference, and if you are like a loyal customer, you don't need to have the same questions. What do you love to have? Blah 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 blah. So it is there. Now the question how we can duplicate that experience by using generative AI. Okay, and this you cannot do it without integrating all the aspects related to the data, either of the customer, especially like the preferences, how you can segment this customer, how you can understand the product he's buying, where he's going, and connect all the entire data ecosystem, not only sales. Okay, so the personalization remain a very great use case for AI and generative AI, in which you can add value to the customer. It's very important to mention that the recommendation can help to increase the sales by 1.6 times. In the e-commerce, 80% of the shopper would love to have recommended, I would say, items. But when you combine that experience with also that piece of recommendation, it's important. Now if you say like 3 4 years back, personalization was there, but it was only one way. I mean, the best scenario. you will receive a welcome message with your name. Hi, and welcome to be part of that. Okay, that was called personalization, but it's only one way. If we look at, for example, after purchase, we can take you for shopping with us. Okay, but this is very important. This is the basics. It tells a lot. But how you can move to that conversational aspect, we have two ways, and to feel that the other part of the other retailers understand your preference. That's great. The other part, which is the I would say the digital commerce. Okay, now, generative AI can help in terms of increasing and improving the productivity. We've seen many examples like L'Oreal using generative AI content. The other aspect, also the other use case I would love to share is related to the digital marketing. Okay, now many retailers can reduce a big amount of effort and time by generating the content using generative AI. Okay, so this is something we have seen, and they can combine also by understanding the type of the customer they have, and they can really make sure that their content is very specific to the consumers. Um, there is also something I have seen as trend because the retailer probably they are suffering from the debt and the inflation and also the increasing cost of ads, right? So we've seen now the ads, I mean, the big players, they are having, I would say, the monopoly of the ads. And you look at the retailer, is a huge cost. Now we've seen that there is new kind of concept in which the retailers can co-create, co-market their products all together in different platforms. And by using generative AI, they are very specific. They know exactly what to present, what products should be promoted, and this is it make a huge difference for the retailer. So the list is huge. We can also explore this as we go in our conversation as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are a couple of things there which you touched upon, which also made me think, right? Like now that the AI is becoming multimodal, as opposed to traditional AI systems, that must have opened up, quite a bit of, new things that you can do and new possibilities for retailers. So, you want to kind of talk us through how the switch to multimodal systems is having an impact?
Okay, I will try to give you an example. For example, so imagine you are walking into a store. Okay, you see the digital signage recommending product based on your previous purchase. You can have a voice assistant guiding you to specific need, for example, or product. You can have even personalized, hyper personalized offer on your phone. So this is not the future. We've seen that some retailers they are into that level of understanding of the customer and giving that experience to their customer. Okay, and this is cannot be done without having the multimodal AI. Okay, so for example, Caribou, we work on the use case in which that help them to explore that experience in the coffee between the CCTV camera, which were used only for security, and they can have full understanding of the persona of the customer, and then you can recommend by integrating with the digital signage. Okay, so this is very important, and we can see a shift in terms of the customer experience, the NPS to be improved, and also the sales that can be also increased because people they would love to have that experience to see if this is accurate or no. But behind is more complex technically because and this it come also with its own challenges. It's not that easy because you have to unify all sorts of data. You have the data text data, you have the images, you have even the video that are created. So to create that truly personalized customer journey, you need also to have strong technology layer that can also integrate and embed all together. So this is where I can see a huge benefit by having multi-model, I would say, multi-model AI.
So, I mean, with all of this, right, all of this exciting possibility, and everyone's aware of it today, you cannot escape from the fact that you need to use AI in your business, and or you'll be dead. But for retailers, I mean, still there are. If someone's starting to, what do you see as the friction points? Why are some retailers maybe slow or hesitant? What are the kind of things that are slowing them down or stopping them from taking that plunge? And for a retailer looking to, let's say, a small or a medium-sized retailer looking to, see how they can use AI, would you have some, advice for them how to think about this and how to approach transforming your business with AI?
Okay, to be fair to retailers, it's not only retailers that are still behind. I mean, I can see that
Yeah,
retailers start AI way before, because we have been exposed to many models in terms of prediction, pricing, stock optimization, like years ago. So it's not as new, but I think the type of the retailer can make a difference. We have seen the retailer who are at the forefront of the industry. They invest a lot in terms of technology, right? And I can tell you that most retailers, they become a tech company, and it's a very interesting facts, because we are talking about a lot of integration, a lot of APIs, a lot of solutions, a lot of analysis, a lot of data science. So at the end of the day, retailers, to remain competitive, it's about providing solutions, providing better experience for the customers. But this cannot be done without technology. So it's very important to have that technology. Now, what make some retailers more advanced than the other, or the other like fell behind, is probably the access to resources. If retail is struggling, they have probably many other priorities to take into consideration. But at the end of the day, AI is there. We've seen that some retailers they started exploring retail by necessity, because other competitors, they are starting using it, for example. So it's kind of play in catch up mode now. So they can embrace AI for having customer insights, or for inventory management, etc. But we feel that now the acceleration is there. Last year, ChatGPT helped in terms of, I would say, increasing the awareness of the AI, and make it something not affordable, but at least accessible to this retailer. So the question started in the board meeting room, and also with tech provider like us. So we have seen for the last 2 years the discussion that we are starting happening with different retailers, their interests, their curiosity in terms of how this can take place, what are their prerequisites, etc. So this is very important. But there is something can be applied for retailer and for other industry, which is related to the what are the type of the challenges that are related to the AI or generative AI. Okay, now I would say with the first one that came to my mind, which is the operational challenge. Okay, when it comes to the communication and the coordination across teams, it requires a lot of effort from the team. Now, if you look at retailers, small, tiny team, I mean, you cannot expect them to do that work on top of operations. So that's something in which working with trustworthy partners or technology service provider can be added value for this type of retailer. The second aspect will be also the intensive labor preparation for the data. That's also important. What I have seen, and this is, I would say, quite interesting, is the trust between retailer and other tech provider. Right? We are dealing with data. We are dealing with privacy, with customer things, which I fully understand. You need to build that trust between the retailer and the technology provider, and this relationship, it's work in progress. I mean, it requires a lot from both sides to work on that trust. That trust is for me very crucial to increase the adoption, the intensity in terms of technology. But this is one of the challenges I have seen, that is stopping some of the retailer to explore this with AI. There is second aspect which is related to the quality challenges. Okay, we mentioned that the multi-dimensional data or the multi-model still complex. Yes, it is extremely complex. So you have to crack which model you have to use and why, and what are the data sources that you are going to bring in the table, and why, and what is the value after this. This is very important, and we've seen that most of the retailer, I mean, we saw that the one that are not adopting yet the technology, they are in managing the business by looking at sales data. Okay, but just remain competitive. Sorry, to remain competitive, you need to have all the aspects that are around the sales, about operation, vendors, contracts, social media, everything. So we can have some insight that can add value to your business. Okay, so the multi-model aspect is not helping, or the complexity of the multi-model aspect is not helping to achieve this. There is also the access to the real time data. Okay, that's also, I've seen that it represents a challenge, because all these use cases, and this I always say to my clients, the success of the data implementation is how fast you can make the decision, and how insightful this can empower your team to make the decision on the spot, in the right channel, to the right customer. Okay, now if you have to go back and explore retrospectively what happened for the last week, this is too late. You have frustrated customer, you are not on the top of your operation. There is a huge risk in terms of asset, etc. at store level. So you need to make a decision as fast as you can. And if you don't have the real-time access to the latest data, or you have access to the incorrect or irrelevant responses, the model cannot work for you. Okay. There is also another aspect which is related to innovation as a whole, being exposed on the startup mode, and also on the field of AI. One of the challenges I have been facing personally is the difficulty of selecting the model. Okay, so there are like pre-made model, there are open models that you can use, but the challenge, you are not like exposed to what was the logic, how was the training model, and how you can fine tune it. So that is something represents a very it was for me at least represent a challenge to come up with our startup model. There is also the something that I haven't seen people talking about, which is the unpredictable computing costs. Okay, now AI, if you work with big tech player, it's quite expensive. I mean, now we've seen that there are huge investment from the tech leaders, which make hopefully the technology more affordable. And this is how it starts. It starts very expensive, and then it gets cheaper as we go. But this is something, as we go, it is still for small retailer something that they have to think twice, which go to the big question: what is the ROI of uh, generative AI or AI for the retailer? So this is, I would say, my view. I mean, for this.
So, I mean, just curious in terms of how customers, like when I walk into a coffee shop and the bartender, I mean, the barista recognizes me, that makes me feel nice. But if I walk in and the store recognizes me because of cameras and all of that, how are customers likely to respond to that? Is there a concern about customers and privacy? And do customers feel okay with this? Because in the digital world, we've made our peace with it, that our data is out there and everybody already has that, and we've made our peace with it. But when it starts happening in the physical world, are you seeing any kind of resistance from customers saying, hey, I don't want my pictures taken, or is everyone okay with it because of the advantages that it has?
Very, very interesting point. Thanks a lot for highlighting it, because uh, it represents one of the risks and one of the consideration we are taking into consideration. Okay, now when you look at GDPR in Europe, etc., you are not allowed to to save the customer data without having the acceptance. Okay. Now, and one of my previous company I was part of, that was big topic. Okay, are we allowed to save the data to process it? So the only solution we find to protect the privacy of the customer, okay, and also for the retailers to build the trust with their respective customer, is to process the data in real time. So we are not saving the data, okay, somehow we are processing it, and we work with the customer that allowed us, for example, to save their data. So that's something you can connect also from the loyalty app, in which you can save the entire information about the customer. But to be fair to the customer as well, customers cannot provide and share the data without having something. Okay, but when they feel that there is something that is back. It's not for me. I do the loyalty app or I go to the store and just want to have something recommended. I feel that there is connection between the brand and myself, and I'm very happy to share my data because I know that it will be a payback. I will have some solution for me. I will have some financial solution, for example, or some promotion extremely personalized to me. I probably will have some yeah, so this will help to build the trust between the customer and the retailer. But we are very aware of this. It is a very sensitive topic, and there is a way to kind of mitigate it by using technology.
So, I mean, one last question. If I was to ask you to make like three wild predictions about how physical retail will be in 10 years or 15 years, just like a wild prediction, what would you say?
I'm not very good with prediction, but I can see ways. I can tell you the first thing, the shift between or the continuity between the online and offline will be there. Okay, that is very important. Uh, I think being also in the startup ecosystem, it's all about what's gonna be the problem and what is the problem statement that you are trying to resolve. Okay, we have discussed many challenges and many opportunities in terms of the affordability, the easy to use, and to build some niche solution for the customer. And this is going to evolve and evolve very very fast. Um, I would say that having I would say the shopping digital companion in which that you can ask for that will be kind of your advisor or shopper advisor that will understand more about you in all aspects, not fashion, not technology, is everything around. So that's something will definitely be there. Um, Now, I would say that, and as we have seen that. The retailers, they can track every single aspect in the e-commerce, okay, but when it comes to the in-store experience, still the technology, the complexity is stopping them to explore that aspect. But I think going forward, they will be having all the metrics, all the KPIs in store to look at the I don't know, the temperature, having some using the IoT signals, uh, looking at the merchandising aspect, looking at the brand, how they can fulfill the stock in real time. This we're always there, but now I think with the generative AI, with the power of AI, that would be accelerated, and we will feel that we'll see that companies will develop a niche solution. Okay, that's the role of any CTO of the retail will be how they can integrate this solution to unleash the full value for the retailer. Um, so I believe that that will be the direction. The online is always there; it will remain. But I can see that retailers can also move into the platform aspect to not like stick to one brand, to challenge the entire ecosystem. I can see also kind of co-responsibility between the retailers. One of the challenges the retailers are facing is they don't have real data of the entire ecosystem. So everyone is responsible of his own data, like explored by by themselves, but having that common kind of legs across all the retailers that currently all the malls provider are having, because I can see this also there is trend that the mall are integrated with the sales of the retailers. So it helps them also to understand inside the trends and make sure the entire experience in the mall is better. But I can see retailers who are realize the importance of this and they realize the power of data that they have. They can also explore other platform and other business model that can be aligned with their categories and their type of business.
All right. So that's been, I mean, it looks like the future looks really, really interesting for both for retail, whether you're on the customer side. I feel like shopping is going to be so much more fun because of all of these things going forward. And I think if you're a retailer, the ability to kind of reach out and personalize and genuinely form a connection with your customer is also looking amazing. Thank you so much, Ziad. That's been a fantastic, really, really fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And thank you, folks, for watching, and stay tuned for more.